Hey guys, welcome back to another Fushby video. As we said last video, we're going to try and bring you something a bit different this time, rather than just plain questing out in the world. I guess this is what we call like a bit of a group story-driven a dungeon. These dungeons or instances take you out of the world, so you can't get ganked or anything, and you can run with your mates or your party members or players of your choice if you group up with someone in general chat. Um, Look, these are pretty entertaining. They're very story driven, so there's a reason why you're in there, and there's a boss at the end which has a little cutscene and it introduces characters and a little bit more of the story of why you're doing in what you're doing in the world, etc. So as you can see, we're in there. I destroyed some canisters before. There's a quest item just straight ahead there of a control panel I need to open to get through to the next area. Now, the cool thing about these things is you automatically get your quests. Now, I think this is cool because you don't need to worry about finding your quests and everything like that before you join. What do you think, Anthony?
Yeah, I really like the way how they do the questing story-driven mode. It's so much better than looking for an NPC or anything like that. It's a lot more fluid in the way it actually handles its quest. And also you don't have any, well, as we found out so far, there's no quest real items that drop and to forget essentially.
Yeah, spot on. So you don't have to worry about, oh, did I loot this and do I need to go back and get it? I mean, it's all done by on the way, and everything that you do need to touch is all marked. And I suppose it's in a way, some people will say, oh, look, that's a bit easy mode or lame. But look, it really does make this game feel like a lot more action packed. Like it's constantly you're bashing stuff, and you're constantly moving forward. Which in a way I find is awesome. But as we're going to go into in a minute, it's actually a bit of a distraction at the same time because what you'll see in a minute, we eventually get up to an NPC where the loot system comes into play. And this is a feature that's kind of disappointed myself and Anthony to the point where in a way, it can ruin the dungeon slash group that you're in, especially if you've got a group of tunnelers that really focus on their loot and not about what's happening in the game. So as you'll see, we'll make our way down the ramp here, and we kill this. I think it's this guy here actually. So what happens is we kill him, and then you'll see right next to my chat window, a little vault will show up with the letter L on it. Now, to go into this and like roll on the loot, you actually have to get into a submenu. Now, this submenu takes up nearly your whole screen view, and keep in mind, like I'm playing on the highest resolution I can at the moment, so it may be taking a little bit more. So you can check your stats and everything, but as you've seen there, it's actually made me stop what I'm doing. It's taken me out of the action, and it's actually a bit of a distraction. I find. I mean, if you think about it, if you're in a dungeon, and I think at the end of the game, raids, or what will be considered as raids, are about 8 players. If one of those pops up, you've got 8 players possibly opening a sub menu to have a look at an item, and it kind of takes that consistent, pure, action-packed DPS and well, no, I suppose not DPS, but it takes the whole action-packed feel out of the game. You know, people are stopping. Anthony had a good suggestion, and I'll let him explain it of what should happen, what he feels should happen with the loot if they want to do it in this method.
Yeah, the loot idea I had, we did do one instance, which we should hopefully be bringing up the video soon. Yes, the combat does not stop when the loot is rolled on. Some bosses it does, others it doesn't. What I feel is, I believe they should actually have the loot at the end in these type of instances. It definitely does kill the momentum of doing the dungeon. I would definitely like something at the end to like have loot spoils. It'll encourage people to stick around as well. Well, I would hope to think so. It just seems that it's just not necessary to have a whole screen just fill up just to show you an item essentially.
Yeah, and look, it does take the momentum out of the game, and as we were saying, we did do a higher instance last night. I think it was we did Area 51, which is actually the first group dungeon which you get grouped with randoms with, and one of the players went AFK, and it really. And everything that needed to be rolled on took forever to be rolled on, and you know the first few times he was really just stopping a lot, and we needed him because he was actually fulfilling the tank role, which was quite painful because we had to then manage the game without a tank, which is doable. Um, but it wasn't ideal. So I would really like to see that idea or something change about the loot system. Which actually kind of brings me on to the next point of class roles. Now, a lot of people have sent personal messages to me asking, oh, I like the game, it looks cool, but is there a tank or is there a healer role? And it just looks like all DPS roles. Now, the answer to that is yes, there is tank, healer, and like more utility roles than pure DPS roles. Now, those roles, I'll tell you those roles actually. You got your fire and your ice. They are the tanking roles. Then you've got your mental and your gadgets. They're what we call control roles. So control roles' purpose is to actually help the group's superpowers regenerate and provide that little bit extra control, I guess, like a CC kind of role. And then you've got your nature and your sorcery who offer like a healing role, so they can do healing over time. Now, the healing's interesting because you don't actually select a target to heal them, which if the group runs away from each other, it's going to be really hard, I can imagine, to keep a group up and alive. But look, we'll go more into that when we show you the video. Look, each class is a DPS at the same time, but I mean, at the same time, everyone has a sub role to fill, and to switch between those roles, there's a certain letter on your keyboard you have to push to switch between them. But we'll go into that on the Area 51 video that we do. So as you're seeing here, this is where the story, this is where is all leading to. We've helped Killer Croc reach Bane. There's a whole sub story behind this, and I won't bother going into it because story I think is something that should be saved for you guys to discover. So what we're going to do here with Killer Croc's help is we're going to burn down Bane. He's pretty tough. I mean, he gets us pretty low at some points. Really fun though. I think this is really fun that you can do a dungeon with your friends, and you don't need to worry about turds coming into your group and trolling you and rolling need on everything. It's all controlled and it's kind of fun. At the end of this as well, guys, we're going to leave you with a bit of a cinematic as well, which is just the lead out to this I guess group story driven instance. Now the one more thing we'll touch on just while the video closes out is the social panel and chat within groups and parties. It's actually quite difficult to communicate and bring up social panes. We're actually going to bring a separate video regarding accessing the social pane and how to invite people to groups and find people for quests and whatnot. But it's not ideal, hey. But look, we'll show you that so you guys can see it and judge it for yourself. But look, that's probably the end of this video. And look, like I said, we'll leave you with the cinematic now.
Sometimes I wonder why I stay in this stinking, polluted city. The Falcones, Bane, Two-Face, Mad Hatter, that Hush freak, Killer Croc, Catwoman, not to mention the Joker. There's too much competition. But I'm a businessman and I smell opportunity. So when this little gang war blows the lid off Gotham, Penguin's gonna have a nice little umbrella for when it starts raining blood. Wah!